What's up everybody, it's CJ, and I'm back with another Sims 3 speed build, and today I am building a cozy pink cottage, and today I am building this for the Not So Berry challenge. So this is a house that I literally need, like, now. So if you don't know, I've been doing the Not So Berry challenge for a while. Like, I'm looking at the playlist on my second monitor and it says 2 years ago. That was the first part. So like, y'all, we have been doing this for a long time. It's kind of funny though, because around Thanksgiving of last year, we were on the plum generation. At the time of me recording this, it's getting closer to Halloween. So almost a year later, I am literally building another house, which is kind of interesting. So this is going to be the pink house for the pink generation. So I have my heir Pinky. I have not given him a makeover yet, so I need to do that. So yeah, the next part of the Not So Berry will come out really soon. And if you want to see, or if you're like, CJ, what the heck is a not so what now? Like, what are you talking about? The Not So Berry challenge is a 10 generation legacy where every generation has a different color scheme and there's different rules. Generation 1 is the mint generation, so you don't have to if you don't want to, but it's like one of those things where like simmers like to play into the theme. So their sim will be minty, which will have like mint color hair, mint colored house, that kind of thing. And then like for generation 1, you also have to be a scientist, right? So like every gen has a different color and a different set of rules. So for the pink generation, we have to be a writer. So I have my sim Pinky. He's gonna of course live in this house. Now this house ended up being a 2-bedroom 1-bathroom home. It's not a gigantic house. A part of me did not want this house to be so big. I knew about how much money we had. It was around like 180,000 simoleons, I believe, and I didn't want to go over that because, you know, like, it's nice if you can afford a Sims house, but it's like the bills are going to start piling up, so you kind of want to make sure you have money. So I didn't really want to go over the budget, and luckily I didn't, because this house only ended up being 78,000 simoleons. I don't know if it'll be like more or less when I place it down and, you know, when stuff depreciates, but it's around like 78,000 when I stopped recording, which I'm really happy about. So I stayed within my budget. I kind of struggled a little bit with this house, y'all, because I did not know how I wanted this to look. I started and stopped recording so many times today, but I settled on a design that I really liked. So I was like, let's just kind of go for this. So as you've seen, like, I kind of started out by like building where the front door was, and then I kind of just built everything around that. Usually I don't do that in The Sims, but I think it made more sense to do it this way today because I wanted the fence to kind of line up with the door, so I wanted to like make sure I have like a clear path to it. So yeah, it kind of just made sense to do that today. Another big issue with this house was that I didn't really know like how much pink to use, but I feel like with these challenges where like things are like, you know, color themed, I'm always like, how much of this color should I use? Like, how much pink is too pink? And as you probably know, like certain colors complement other colors. So I was like, should I do pink and white? Should I do pink and beige or like a gray? Like, how do I do this? So I kind of settled for like a brick as my like accent color outside, and then I also used white to kind of like accent the doors, the windows, that kind of thing, and I think it looks good in the end. Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this house looks like a Minecraft house, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It just reminds me of a Minecraft house. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's like the roofing and the brick. Maybe that's what it is. So as you can see, I'm using these windows from the Showtime pack, and then the door I believe came with Supernatural, and the windows in the front with the flower boxes, those came from the base game. So now we move on to the inside, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I did not know what to do inside of here. I was like, what am I doing? So I kind of just started with a floor plan. That's usually like, to me, the best place to start if you don't know what to do with decorating and stuff, is just do the floor plan first if you can, and then like everything kind of comes together, or at least that's how I do it. So I started out with this big room right here. I was like, what am I going to put in here? So I decided to have this be an open living room, and I feel like a lot of my builds are like this when I build in a Sims. I think I just like to see my Sims move around in their house. I know like a lot of Sims builds will be like kind of narrow and smaller on the inside, or like, I guess I could say more compact on the inside, but a lot of my builds I like to have space. I like to see things. And then like for this generation in particular, you have to have more cats than you do kids. So like, I'm thinking that maybe we can have maybe 2 children, maybe, but either way, we have to have more cats than we do kids, right? So I'm like, I need space because, you know, your cats have to run around. I need scratching posts, I need litter boxes. So I knew that I needed this to be a little bit bigger than like the typical house. So I'm starting off in this little like bump out corner section, and at first I wanted to use this chair from Generation. I just had a vision of that chair, but then the more I looked at it, the more I was looking at the wallpaper and the floor, I was like, we're not gonna use that. So I ended up using some base game furniture instead, and it's those base game chairs that has like the wood on the railings and stuff. It's like one of those old fashioned chairs. I never, and I mean y'all, never use that stuff, like ever. Like there's a lot of things I just don't use in this game, and I just never use those chairs. But I was like, you know what, why not? Like I didn't really know like what vibe I wanted to go for. I wanted to go for something kind of like pink, obviously, but like I didn't know if I wanted it to be too fancy or like kind of abstract. I didn't really know, so I kind of just furnished and I guess also build on vibes today. So hopefully you'll like the end result. But I'm using these chairs right here. Of course, everything is pink. I'm using the base game TV, and then I'm using this little ottoman on the ground. Your Sims can sit on this, by the way, but I am using move objects to kind of move it in. I don't really intend for my Sims to sit there. It's just more like decorative furniture to me, but you can technically sit on it. And then I'm using the coffee table that comes with Generations. And then as you can see, I'm like recoloring these chairs, trying to find a nice pink. At first, like each chair was like a different pink and a different design, but I was like, maybe we don't need to do that. So the two chairs are pinstripes, and then the couch is like a cow print design. I don't know why, but y'all know I love a cow print, so I was like, let's just bring the cow print. So I feel like this house is a little bit quirky, because like Pinky has to be a writer, and I'm like, maybe he likes to write like, I don't know, like nonfiction or something, or he likes to write like comedy books or something like that. Like I feel like he's a little quirky, so hopefully this kind of plays into it. But also I could literally see like an old lady living here. Maybe when he bought this house, he just kept a lot of the furniture, right? Like maybe an old lady used to live here or something. Also too, I kept forgetting, y'all, that I had to have cats in this house. Before I started building the house, I looked at the rules to make sure that I wasn't going to forget anything. Like, you know, I wanted to make sure I had bookshelves and a desk and stuff like that. But then I somehow kind of forgot that we needed cats. So you'll see, like, I have like the sleeping bags for the cats and the food bowls. But then I was like, wait a minute, CJ, if you have to have more cats than humans, you're going to need a lot more than just one pet bed, right? So there's a couple of cat sleeping bags around. I also have those cat condos. There's only one litter box, and I'm using the fancy one. It's like the automatic one, and I put that in the bathroom. I just felt like maybe we didn't need like multiple of those. If we do, like if I play this and I'm like, wait, I need more, then I'll place one down. But I only have one of those in the bathroom, and then I have one automatic pet feeder, and those last for a while. Like I'm telling y'all, if you ever go to the Sims 3 store and you're like, CJ, what do you think I should get? If you have pets, I would say get that automated pet feeder. All you really do is like fill it up, and then like your pets can eat off it a lot of times, and then eventually you're gonna have to fill it up again, but it lasts a while and it's a lot less annoying, because I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I forget to fill up the bowls if it's just like the regular ones, you know, or I have to like constantly fill them up. So it's just good to have something that is there where you don't have to always fill it up. I also wanted to use that grandfather clock, y'all. I don't think I've used it recently, so I knew I wanted to have something kind of fancy in the corner. Like I said, I can see an old lady living here. Like, it's kind of giving like grandma vibes, a low key, but I still think it looks nice. And also too, by the way, if any of y'all do play the Not So Berry, or if you want to play it, every generation I build my own houses for this. So if you need a house for like, you know, the first generation or the second one, which is the red generation or whatever, I think I'm gonna make a separate playlist. Like all of them are already in a playlist. I have a speed build playlist on the channel, but I think I'm gonna make like a separate one just for Not So Berry builds, and then that way you can just get what you need, you know, because I feel like sometimes, I know for me it's kind of hard to like find what you need, especially in The Sims 3, because like a lot of times when you Google something, you see stuff for Sims 4 or like Sims 2, for example. So maybe if I just make a playlist, it'll be easier for you to find it or something like that, you know? So yeah, so far at the time of this video, I've done the first 7 generations, because I'm doing them as I get to them, so I don't have like Peach done just yet. So I'll do that eventually. Now we move on to the bedroom. So this is where Pinky's gonna sleep. I know his bedroom's a little bit small, but like, I mean, I wanted something kind of smaller and cozy, you know? So like his house is way smaller than his dad's house. Like if you didn't see the orange house, it was a lot bigger than this. And even like the plum house, like I don't know, I feel like the plum house was big enough, but I still think this house is smaller than the plum house. But yeah, I wanted something kind of small and cozy. I kind of went with a more dusty pink color scheme in here. I knew that I wanted to use that hanging chair in the corner, so I definitely had to use it. I have a cat condo in here because if you don't know, cats can also sleep on them. So it's kind of cool, you know, to maybe have it in the room your cats can scratch. They can also like survey, climb on it, and then they can also sleep. So, you know, maybe the cat that we get will sleep here, you know. I think I want to like adopt some cats too. I may make one, but I think I want to adopt some cats for Pinky. So I don't know, we'll see when we get there. Now I also wanted to use this I believe it's the contemporary set. It has the dresser. It's really small, but I really like it, so I wanted to use that in here. I'm using the mirror from the season spec, I believe. Like I'm telling y'all, this build, a lot of the choices were like things I've just never used before, because I kind of want to like start using more stuff that I've never used, you know. So I don't ever really use this mirror, but I thought it looked kind of cool in here, so I ended up putting that over here as well. And then you'll see that I have that like that mural of flowers, yo, I didn't know where to put that. Like, you'll see it. It's in the nursery, then I move it from the nursery. It just moves all over this house. But speaking of the nursery, now we are in this one. So sometimes what I'll do when I do these not so berry houses is I'll make the nursery the next color gen. So after pink is peach. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I know the difference between pink and peach in real life, but I feel like in The Sims, those colors are so similar. Like, I tried my best to make the wallpaper peach, and maybe you can see that, but like, if anything, it looks just like a darker pink, if I'm being honest with you, which is, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully you can kind of see it. If I need to, I can always like touch it up a little bit later, but like, I tried to have a peach nursery. So I didn't really know how many babies we were gonna have, so I just put one crib in here, but if we ever have like twins or something, then I definitely will get like another one. But for the video, and for right now, because we don't have kits yet, I have a playpen, I have the changing table in here, the rocking chair, and then of course we have the crib, and then the lamp is like one of the store content ones. I knew I wanted to use it, and then I wanted to have like a quilted nice accent wall design, so I'm using that pattern from the base game, and it just kind of made it more pastel. I use that pattern everywhere, like for the playmat, the crib, and the changing table, but I thought it looked kind of nice, you know. And I didn't really know what to put on the wall behind the crib, so you'll see at first I used like a book bag rack, but then I was like, I don't really want to put that in there, so then I ended up swapping it out for like a shelf with animals on it, which I thought was kind of cool. I did use the Sims 3 tool mod to raise it up a little bit, so hopefully your Sims should be able to still use the crib. You can place the shelf there by default, but I just wanted to kind of go up a little bit more, so hopefully that won't give you any issues. I don't think it will. Like, see, yeah, I just raised it up a little bit. I think it'll be okay. But yeah, that was pretty much like it for the nursery. I just wanted something kind of nice and cozy. I do go back and add some curtains because I low-key forgot to add those, so I'm adding some blue ones. It's kind of funny though, because the nursery kind of reminds me of Pinky and Valentino's bedroom when they were little. It was kind of like a blue, pink, and white color scheme. So, you know, it's kind of like a nice little callback to that. So now we move on to the bathroom. So the bathroom is kind of all over the place, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I was kind of inspired by the floor that I chose, but then I was like, I don't think I want to use that like blue color for it, so I kind of made it more like a white, and then I'm using like a really interesting looking wallpaper. It kind of has like Art Deco vibes, kind of, but I kind of feel like maybe Pinky would have something like that, you know. And then again, I do place down that litter box that's automatic, so you don't have to clean it out. And then yeah, that mural, y'all, it goes right in the kitchen, and then from the kitchen it goes into the office. So like, I moved it everywhere. I'm using the Bayside countertops in the kitchen. I always say this, but like, I love these countertops. They're my favorite ones in the game, so I knew I wanted to use those in here. I'm just recoloring them to have like, instead of like a wood design, it has like a plasticky design. And then we have like some stone for the top of the counter. We have that big mirror from the base game, and then I'm using the shower, which I believe is from I think that shower is from Island Paradise, I believe, but I'm using that shower, and I also use the fancier toilet from the base game, and then I'm using those same curtains. These curtains come from Supernatural, by the way, and I never use them that much. They're kind of cool, so I may use them again in the future. Like, I don't know, I kind of like those. And then I also add a little rug in here, but that's pretty much it for the bathroom. I'm going back now and added some curtains, y'all, because I was like, oh yeah, I need to add curtains places. Now, the kitchen was a process, y'all, because it's really oddly shaped, and we don't have angled pieces for countertops like we do in The Sims 4, in The Sims 3. So it's not like I could have like a perfect wraparound countertop situation. So I kind of just had to like break up the counters into little sections, which you'll see what I mean, and everything will look good in the end. But yeah, and then I also ran into a situation where like, I wanted to use the Cloud 9 countertops from the Sims 3 store. It's from the diner set, but the thing is, for some reason, they gave us the countertops but no cabinets. And then they didn't even give us like an island counter to go with it. So you literally only have this choice to work with. Like, I don't know why that is in the Sims 3. There's so many cases of we'll get countertops, but like, we won't have all the pieces. Or like, sometimes you'll get, you know, the top, bottom, and you'll get the island, but like, it was just so weird. Like, I know sometimes in The Sims 4 it has been like that in the past, but like, I feel like they're a lot better about it in 4. Like 3, they were just like, oh well. Which is funny too, because like, I didn't know this for the longest time, y'all, but in The Sims 2, none of the packs or anything, none of them came with upper cabinets. So like, Sims 3 was like the first as far as I know, which is interesting, right? Like, Why didn't it have it in The Sims 2? I don't know. But yeah, so I kind of mix and match a little bit. So at first I'm using the Cloud9 countertops, but then I eventually swapped them out for the ones from Ambitions because I just thought those looked a little bit better, and it came with an island countertop. As you can see, the kitchen is kind of big, right? So I knew I wanted to have a table, but then I was like, we have a little extra space, so why don't I add a couple of island countertops? So at first I wanted to use these from the base game, so I recolor everything to match, but then I didn't really like it like that. So I'm using the ones from the Ambitions pack. Again, funny enough, these do not come with upper cabinets either. So the upper cabinets that I'm using are from the Pets pack. So I just used the color wheel just to kind of make everything match a little bit better. Luckily, we have the color wheel in this game to kind of like help with some of the oversights and stuff, but the color wheel can only do so much, right? But if you don't look too close, it's not that noticeable, right? So for the kitchen, I also wanted to have a china cabinet somewhere, or like a hutch. So I'm using this one from Ambitions. I use it all the time. And then I ended up using a table, which I believe is from base game. It's like the one with the curved legs, and then I'm using the matching chairs to go with them. And funny enough, y'all, I did not realize this till after I was done recording. I forgot to put bar stools at the island counter. I do go back and add some. They're the ones from base game. You'll see it in the screenshots, but I just somehow forgot. So yeah. And then also too, I add a window over here by the table. I didn't want to because this is where the fake chimney is for the house, but then I was like, it needs to have something there. Like, it needs to. So I put a window there. And now we move on to the last room of the house, which is going to be the office. Now, if we need to, this can be a separate bedroom, but as of now, it's a home office. So I kind of wanted to have Pinky have his own little private space to write, or to just kind of hang out and just do his little thing, because he has to be a writer, you know? So I wanted him to have like a nice quiet place to write. So I'm giving him the computer desk from the Seasons pack. I'm using the Bayside bookshelf, and I don't think I've ever used this, y'all. Maybe before, like maybe in a couple builds back in the day, but like I never used this bookshelf, so I was like, you know what, let's just use it today. I'm putting cat wallpaper in here. Like, I don't know, it's a little extra, but I wanted to use some cat wallpaper. I found a place for that mural, y'all. It goes in the home office. It finally found a home. And then I kind of went back and I was adding some more like pet stuff, because again, y'all, like I said, I forgot that we were supposed to have cats for some reason. We have the pet bowls, we have the toy boxes, the little spring toys. So I even put a cat condo in here too, just in case the cats wanted to hang out while, you know, Pinky is writing a book or something like that, or typing. So I wanted to kind of just make sure that I had a lot of stuff for my Sims and the cats, right? So in the end, that's pretty much everything for the entire build. The only thing I do now is just kind of swap out the desk for this other one. This is like one from the store, but it has books on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, Pinky would definitely have something like that. So I wanted to use that in here instead. I'm using the flying carpet rug from the base game in here. And yeah, that's pretty much basically it for the house. So the only thing I do next is just a little bit of landscaping, which you'll see. I add a couple of those small shrubs with the white flowers on them to kind of like go beside the cherry blossoms in the yard. And I just think everything looks so nice, y'all. Like, I cannot wait to play in this house. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you do want to download this house, feel free to. I'm going to leave it linked down below. But basically, y'all, that's all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below, subscribe if you like my builds, or if you know, you might want to just hang out a little bit. So feel free to subscribe. And then, like I said, if you do want to go and watch the Not So Berry challenge, there is currently 126 parts. So there's a lot to catch up on. But yeah, I'll leave a playlist of that link down below. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching.